541. What do you want to discuss?
Wait, I didn't even press the 1 button. I just wanted to listen to you.
Well, say something. What do you want to listen to? What do you want? Do you have a question? Just say something.
Well, if it's anything that relating to capitalists, do you have any advice on music, the music industry?
Well, I have, some advice for you. Absolutely. Actually have talent, first of all. And if you do have talent, the money is no longer in, traditional album sales anymore, all right? And that's what people need to understand. The music industry isn't about album sales, all right? You're lucky if you put out a song and people pay for it in the first week just so that they could be the first exclusive ones to have it. But as soon as that first week is gone, you know as well as I, that copy is going to be everywhere for everybody. And to be honest with you, that's what you want. I mean, as an artist, if you're that good and people, actually want to hear the song and they're showing it to everybody and sending it to other people across the world, I mean, that's what you want. I mean, I'm a perfect example of that, folks. You see, yours truly, is not an anal retentive jerk-ass as it relates to copyright. You understand? I mean, there's a lot of people that are, spreading all my show all over the internets throughout the world, all right? And the reason I don't care is because that's the reason I'm still alive after being gone for almost 5 years. All right, that's why I've got about 60 to 70,000 live listeners, believe it or not, on this broadcast, folks. I mean, this is not a joke. I mean, I'm witnessing the numbers. I can't believe it. All right, but the reason is because people have heard about the show outside the actual show itself. They've seen it on YouTube. They've seen it in other parts of the internet, and they become fans of the show. They want to listen to the show, and they find the show. All right? I mean, that's the same concept for musicians, all right? Now, if you want to be a musician at first, I think that you should just, make a video, and you need to make sure that that video is somewhat visually appealing because at this point in time, unfortunately, this is a very visual society in this country and in the world. So even if your song is kind of, so-so, if you have a decent video and it tells either a story or it's trippy or it's weird or it's funny or if it has some kind of appeal, then it'll go viral just based on the video. Or if the song rocks and the video is kind of so-so, it'll go viral on the song. Now, once you go viral, well, that's when you start making the money via the merchandise. And look, if you really want to be a musician, you got to work. All right, that means you got to go out and do gigs. I mean, that's where the money's at. All right, I'm serious. You got to, if you don't do it, you've got to find some manager that hooks you up with these gigs. And how do you get gigs? You got to call up these damn venues. I'm telling you, every venue needs somebody to book so that they can have some kind of entertainment to make their venue economically viable. All right? And that's why I'm suggesting, folks, that the modern-day musician, if they really want to be a badass musician, at first they may have to give out some of their music and try to make it go viral to some capacity. All right? Now, look, just because you give out the music, all right, and people are downloading it all over the internets and it's popular, doesn't mean you're losing money. If somebody takes your music and puts it in a commercial, or if somebody takes your music and makes some kind of, commercial-based product or service based upon your intellectual property, well, then you have every right to sue that person to get your cut of whatever the hell that son of a bitch is making. Do you understand that, right? So, I hear all the time that people are afraid to put their stuff out because of that purpose. But hell, if you find somebody who is making some money off of your intellectual property, well, then sue them. All right? I mean, I'm sure you could settle out with minimal litigation, for Christ's sake. All right? I'm serious. But first and foremost, for the musicians, you may have to just give out your music, make it viral, And then once you find out, okay, it's viral or it's popular amongst this people. I mean, with YouTube, you can get your demographics, where you're being mostly shown, where you're being mostly downloaded, so on and so forth, so you can plan your gigs accordingly. But it's hard work now, folks, because let me tell you, it's no longer about getting the record contract and becoming a millionaire anymore, all right? What happens now is that you've got to show that you're making independent money on your own before these big, Interscopes and these big record companies come in and say, all right, we'll give you $10 million because you're already making $1 million on your own. All right, so they're going to give you $10 million up front so that they can, take the product that you already have and distribute it in the proper channels to make $100 million, $50 million, $30 million, whatever the case might be. It just depends on how popular you are. Anyway, that's a very good question, and I strongly advise everybody, give out, your music, all right? I mean, put it on YouTube, make a decent video. And look, if you want to be a serious musician, put out a good one. If you want to be some jag-off musician, one-hit wonder, well, then you don't have to be as extravagant on your video. You just have to make it, funny to make it go viral. Remember that Rebecca Black broad, with Friday, remember that crap? I mean, it's that simple, for Christ's sake. What that stupid broad didn't do is take advantage of her popularity and start going around the country and touring on that crap, because really the money is in the touring, all right? On top of you going from hotel to hotel and gig to gig and people are cheering you, you're getting paid to do it, man. I mean, if you can negotiate a pretty good gig deal where you're collecting at least a good anywhere 50 to 70% of the door, all right? Of the door entrance fee, because you want people to at least pay for you to get into the door. I mean, if you're doing it for free, well, then you're the fool, all right? All right, but that means you too, you got to go out, you got to bust your ass, you got to try to call up radio stations, see if they can't squeeze you in for an interview. I mean, this is serious work. I mean, people don't understand. Yeah, it's great, I'm a rock star, I'm a rap star. It's work, man. Everything that you want to do, all your dreams, all the ideas that you want is work. Anyway, folks, let's take a couple of more callers here, and then we're going to go ahead and wind down the show because it's Baller Friday, for Christ's sake.